Deep in the mountains of West Virginia, far from the highways and far from the stories most Americans ever hear, there lies a place vanishing faster than any other county in the United States. A county that once powered America's factories, railroads, and cities. A county that produced more coal than almost anywhere else on Earth. And a county today feels like a ghost of its former self. This is McDowell County. Once a symbol of American strength, now one of the clearest warnings of what happens to a community is built on a single lifeline, and that lifeline collapses. For decades, McDowell County was the pride of coal country. At its peak, more than 100,000 people lived here. Today, fewer than 20,000 remain. Schools have closed, hospitals have shuttered, entire neighborhoods have been swallowed with weeds and silence, and in many towns, the last store, the last gas station, and the last church all closed within the same decade. This is not just the story of a place in decline. This is the story of what can happen to any American community when the future disappears faster than people can adapt. To understand McDowell County's collapse, we need to understand its rise. In the early 1900s, something incredible happened beneath these Appalachian mountains. Coal, and not just any coal, some of the richest seams in the world. Coal so valuable it helped build the steel that built modern America. When the mines opened, people rushed here from everywhere. Virginia, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, even Italy and Eastern Europe. Within a few decades, McDowell wasn't just a county, it was a powerhouse. Coal companies built massive company towns. Thousands of miners lived in small, neat houses lining narrow mountain valleys. Trains rolled in and out every hour. Schools were full. Main streets buzzed with diners, barbershops, movie theaters, and union halls. For a time, it felt like this place would never die. But then came the fall. Starting in the 1950s, mechanization hit the mines. One machine could now do the work of dozens of men. Jobs disappeared almost overnight. People stayed at first. They hoped the market would turn around. Some did not survive the layoffs. By the 1980s and 1990s, the bottom dropped out. Coal was no longer king. Entire mines shut down. Businesses closed with them. Families packed up and left. People moved to Ohio, North Carolina, Texas, anywhere that offered work. McDowell County began losing residents faster than any county in the nation, and that trend has never stopped. Today, driving through McDowell County can feel like traveling through time. You see empty schools where classrooms once overflowed. You see the remains of old company stores, their windows shattered, their signs faded by decades of rain. You see entire streets where only one or two houses show signs of life. In some towns, the post office is the only building that still opens. In others, there isn't even that. For the people who stayed, life wasn't easy. Many elderly residents refused to leave the homes their parents built. Some families stay because moving is simply too expensive. Others stay out of love, a kind of loyalty only those born here can understand. But when a community empties, the cost is heavy. Schools consolidate, then close. Hospitals shut down because there aren't enough patients to stay open. Pharmacies disappear. Grocery stores become rare. In some towns, people drive more than an hour just to buy basic supplies. As opportunity vanished, something darker arrived. Drugs, painkillers, meth, cheap, destructive, and easier to find than stable work. At one point, McDowell County had the highest overdose rate in the nation. Life expectancy here dropped to the lowest level in the continental United States. For many Americans, this was a shock. How could something like this happen in the richest country in the world? But for McDowell, It was the natural result of a collapse that no one outside the region seemed prepared to stop. Why did McDowell empty out faster than any other county? The answer is complex, but it begins with one word: dependence. The entire economy revolved around coal. When coal rose, the county soared. When coal fell, there was nothing left to catch it. Unlike other regions that diversified over time, McDowell never developed a second major industry. No tech, no large manufacturing, no tourism economy, no major universities. Just coal, and the hope it would last forever. But coal wasn't the only problem. Geography played a role too. The mountains here are steep, isolated, and difficult to build around. Major highways bypass the county entirely. Rail lines that once carried coal no longer justify the cost of maintenance. Then came policy changes, environmental regulations, global energy shifts, foreign markets, automation, all chipping away at coal's dominance. But the true collapse happened when the younger generation left. They didn't just move out, they moved out permanently. They went to college in other states. They took jobs in cities. They built families far away. And when a community loses its youth, it loses its future. The people left behind in McDowell County are often misunderstood. These are not people who refused to work. These were miners, teachers, nurses, mechanics, and parents, people who worked some of the hardest jobs in America. But when opportunity disappears, even hard work isn't enough. The collapse created a ripple. Less work, fewer families. Fewer families, fewer students. Fewer students, closed schools. Closed schools, fewer jobs. Fewer jobs, more families leaving. And so the cycle kept repeating, draining the county year after year. Yet even in its emptiness, something surprising remains: community. People here look out for one another in ways rare in modern America. Neighbors check in on the elderly. Churches deliver food to families. Volunteers reopen abandoned buildings as community centers. Even as life gets harder, the spirit of those who stayed has not disappeared. So what happens when a county empties out this much? Experts say McDowell may eventually reach a population too small to sustain basic government services. Road repairs, schools, emergency services, everything becomes harder when the tax base collapses. Some towns may disappear entirely, others may merge. A few may transform into tourism or outdoor recreation hubs, though the process will take decades. There is no simple path forward, but one truth remains: McDowell County is not alone. Across the United States, dozens of counties in Appalachia, the Midwest, the South, and the Far West are facing similar declines. What happened here is a window into the future of many rural American communities. McDowell County is more than a place. It is a story, one written over a century of hope, struggle, and quiet resilience. A story about what happens when an entire community rises together and what happens when it falls alone. Its towns may be empty, its minds may be silent, but its history echoes through every hollow, every ridge, every abandoned storefront left behind. This is not just the story of a disappearing county. This is the story of America, off record.